watching this, you're almost certainly in Mr. Bellis's or another JCMS or Fort Riley teacher's world geography class. So hope everyone's doing well. If you're watching this, not only you're probably in one of those classes, but you're probably about to start the Sub-Saharan Sub-Saharan Africa infographic assignment. And so this video is just something I put together in a few minutes to help you guys work on this assignment more independently without having to constantly ask your teachers for very common questions. So these are a few things that I found to be useful in how to take your assignment up to the next level and make sure we get a good grade on this. So um, right here I have the grading guidelines for us, and so I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm going to let either myself, my future self, go over this because I'm recording this a week before the assignment goes out, but or your teacher specifically go over the assignment requirements in detail. But basically, we're grading you on four things: content. Make sure you have three pieces of evidence as of right now to support your your poster or your infographic on why poaching is bad or why it has a negative effect on the world or sub-Saharan Africa as the region. You need three sentences, three explanations, three points explaining that, and then you need one way that people like me, people reading your infographic, could help, or one proposal that the countries involved or people in the region could help the issue as a whole. So um, that's as specific as I'll get with that, but as long as you have all those things, you'll get full credit. Organization. Is this graphic easy to read? Is it cluttered, or is there items in random places, or does it look nice and organized? Images. Self-explanatory. Do you use images that are relevant to what you're talking about, which is poaching in the graphic? So we need at least two right now, I think. And then creativity. How original or creative does this project look? Did you put extra effort, and can we tell that you put extra effort and time into making the graphic stand out if we put it amongst others like it in a crowd? So again, this is going to be at a 24 points as of now, and then we have a specific range for how we're going to grade you all on that. But I'm going to put that aside for now because as we work on this, I'm going to keep this up posted, and I recommend that you guys have this open as you work on the assignment too. You can minimize it or do whatever you got to do, but I've got the double monitor set up, so I'm just going to keep it on my right side out of sight for you. But I am basically going to go through that with my example, which is not exactly going to be poaching necessarily, but it is something pretty similar. So I know with my classes, a lot of kids like me are fans of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, as you can tell by my desktop at home. But I took it upon myself to find a topic that was almost the same, but it wouldn't just like I basically didn't want anyone to copy my work. So I did something that gets the point across, I think, but is close enough to help everyone out with um, this topic without me having to worry about anyone copying my stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought as I talk. I'm recording this way too late at night, but anyway, sorry. So my topic is saving the dinosaurs and why we need to save them. And so this is kind of like anti-poaching, but one, not real, unfortunately, but two, it is a similar concept because just like poaching is the illegal hunt of animals. In Jurassic World, of course, they create dinosaurs out of old DNA. They dig out of bones and other stuff like that and everything. And if you've seen the newer ones, the island is like in danger of a volcano exploding, and the whole concept is like, oh, what are we gonna do about them? And like, are we gonna leave them there to die? And blah blah blah. And then one of the stances in real life, the Universal company, the makers of the movie, they actually created the dinosaur protection group from the movie and made it like in real life, so you can actually go to their website and you can find the dinosaur protection group from the movie, and they give you basically like pretend resources as if you were to actually join the group and help and look at their cause and everything. So I'm going to jump back to that though, but this is something I made literally in about 4 minutes. um, this is something based on some work I've seen this year that would be similar to things I would expect if I just turned you guys loose and I said, work on this, give me those 3 points, give me your proposal to help stop the issue, and give me two pictures. And so um, This though is what we want to avoid. As you can see here, it's kind of lazy in all honesty. Like, yeah, I included a nice theme, but I mean, all I did here is I went up to design and clicked like the first one I saw. These two images are literally the first two images from Google if you just type in dinosaur. I feel like we could do better than that. So, and plus these images are again in random spots and they don't really look very good. Like the white is kind of matching, but then I can't see the words behind it and there's like green sticking out and stuff. And then this one literally covers like 2 points and it's not very creative with the title or anything, and that's very like default font, default bullet points. I mean, it would get you some credit, but I think you're rocking like twos and maybe a couple fours, if that. So um, this is not what we want, but um, in the next example I have, I think this is a way we can tune it up a little bit. So this is more of what we're looking for. So most posters and most infographics are vertical, but you can keep your sideways if you want. I think my default on the assignment is going to be vertical though. But as you can see here, a couple things are different, but at the same time, not really, because basically we just took the same things that we had on the other one and we put them in a different order, made them look a little bit nicer, and just changed some colors and added some things. So um, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to open up a new PowerPoint to show you how to get from this one, not so hot, to this one. Very nice. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I am going to put this one down. This will be our model. And I'm going to show you how I got to everything on there because, like, for example, this isn't just a change in color. This isn't something I made or anything, but just follow along the best you can, and I think we can kind of get through this one. So I'm going to get rid of that one here. I'm going to open up a new one, blank presentation. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to try to get these pretty side by side. We'll try it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, like I said, if you want it vertical, which I recommend, I think it looks a lot nicer with that. You're going to go up to design, format, back, or slide size, sorry, slide size. And you have to go to custom ones though. And you're going to make sure everything says portrait, just like portraits on photos or Instagram. I think whatever the vertical one is, I think is most often portrait. For now, I'm just going to do maximize. I think that works pretty well for me. And then since I don't want just a giant title box and one subtitle box, I'm actually going to start from scratch myself, and I'm going to change the layout. And it normally gives you a lot of different options here. This looks kind of weird in vertical, but I'm actually just going to go with blank, and then I can do literally whatever I want. Then I'm going to make this a little bit bigger too. Um, but I'm just going to work my way kind of from the top down with the important stuff first, and then you could do this in a variety of ways if you want to start with pictures and then fit stuff around it, but I recommend you start with the content, and then that's because that's what I'm going to be grading you on the hardest, I think, is the content, making sure it's accurate and making sure that the words you have on there make sense and actually support your ideas. So um, this information I pulled from that website, by the way. I will provide a website or just a short article instead of you guys having to dig through an entire website and a bunch of resources. I'm just going to cut it all down and put on like 1 to 2 pages for you so you don't have to look all over like different tabs and things like I had to do, because I think that's what took me more time than anything else, is physically finding the information all over the place. And if we put it in one spot for you, I think you guys will be good to go. And then all you have to do is what we're doing here then after you've read a little bit. But so if we just say we're going to use the same points here, these points were the same ones on the other one, so we didn't need to change that much, but um, I think I'm actually going to start with the title. And so this one is not a font because the last one had just a very plain, like I changed the font color green. It's still the default size, still the default font style, but it's not real great. Actually, I'm just going to minimize that again. Sorry, I'm all over the place. But if we um, want the look like this, where it's kind of outlined, has a little bit of a shadow behind it, this is actually going to be in word art. And so word art is going to be one of your best friends if you start making PowerPoints like this next year or anything like this where you want to class it up a little bit. Um, word art gives you not as many options as font, but I think the options are higher quality. And so I think on the one on the right, I did this one. And so your text here, you literally just type in there, save the, I think I typed, yeah, save the source. I like alliteration when words share the same starting letter. I think that sounds better and it's way more catchy. And so one of the things that is also going to be your best friend anytime you make a PowerPoint or any type of graphic online is these um, red dotted lines. They tell you if you're even with something. Most of the time, it's going to be even with the middle or a certain component that you're comparing it to, which I'll show you in a little bit. But when there's not much on the slide, it's going to put you in the middle somewhere if you're close, or if we really move it down, this is the exact middle of the slide. But I don't want my title in the middle. I prefer it up top, and then you read down like you read a book on a page. You start at the top and you work your way down. So save the source going up here. I'll leave it the default size for now. I think that'll be all right. And then below, I actually did a different style of word art. So I'm going to go back there, insert, I think it's like this one. And then I did support the dinosaur protection group. Now, the first thing you might notice is that the font is actually way too big. Like if I printed this off and tried to hang it up in school, it wouldn't say all of it. And so we're going to decrease the font, and to select the entire thing in a text box, you triple click. So 1, 2 gets the word, and then 1, 2, 3 gets the whole thing. And then this should come up. If it doesn't come up, you can right click it as well. And then I'm going to change the font size to, I'll double check this one. This one's 24. Is that what I did? Oh, I was so close. 28. Let's get that one. All right, 24. And then I am also going to move this up in the middle along that line. It should be easy to follow. I'm going to keep it right there for now. And then one of the things you can do with word art is you can do text effects. And so not only can you change the way the font looks itself, but you can do a bunch of different things to it. So if I want this to be rotated, it should give me, as you can kind of see up there, it kind of, if you just hover over it without clicking on it, it kind of shows you what it's going to do. I just like the transform ones for our purposes. I think that's the simplest. Just adding a little bit of curvature, I think, looks pretty nice too. And if you're ever concerned with your text not being in the middle, if you triple click it again once you've done that stuff, the lines where it shows everything being in the middle as opposed to left side or right side, that's what's going to put it in the center of the text box for you. So I try to make sure my text box or whatever, my image, whatever I'm putting in there is in the middle, and then the text itself is in the middle of the text box. Because if the text is on the left side of the text box in the middle, it's still not going to add, it's still not going to add up the way you want it to. So I think we'll keep that for now. I might change the font a little bit though. Let's do that. Yep, I already picked that color earlier. Actually, I'm going to move this down a little bit just for a little bit more space. There we go. That's the good stuff. Okay. I saved this image earlier, by the way. I don't think we'll have time to show you how to do all that, but it's just copy and paste essentially from images you find on Google. If it has actually, I will show you this. Sorry. If it has the grid on Google images like this, that means whatever is not in the grid, so the color itself, that's what's going to show up on your image or when you insert the image. If I click on this one though and it has a green background and there is no grid, that means the hard green is going to make its way onto the PowerPoint, and it's still like that whole box is going to show up. And in my opinion, when you have a background like this, it's not going to work as well. So yeah, I personally like the ones with the grid behind it, so you just kind of see through. But anyway, copy and paste that, and I'm just going to copy and paste the one that I did. Wow, my phone just scared me so much. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it just like yelled in the back of my ear. Oh, wow. That startled me. Anyway, sorry. So copying, and then literally just paste image, and then put it to where you want. And we're going to do that again. Paste. Ka-chow. And then see all these lines are matching up. So right now it's having me matching it up with the other image, but I just realized the other image is sticking off the screen. So now I just moved it down. That top line should be matching with the top of the border of the paper. And so now we can see here that there's about an equal amount of space between the paper and nothing's really overlapping that much. So I think we'll be good to go. I might be able to shrink it down a little bit, but I'll come back to that. I'm not going to judge you so hard on like, uh-oh, that's tiny little tail piece that's microscopic is hanging off. Like, as long as it doesn't look like this or something ridiculous where it definitely you didn't really try to fit it in. As long as you didn't do that, you're fine. So don't freak out on the details and making them even, but try your best, but don't spend your entire life doing this. So all right, we're done with the title, I would say. Before we move on, I'm going to change the background here. So the background I have on here, I literally, I think, just Googled like green textured background, and look at that, all of those. I For the backgrounds, I save them to make it a little bit easier to insert them. Um, Save image as, and then I saved it and whatnot. And then when you pull it up, we want to go back to design, format background, or you can right click format background. And then there we go, picture or texture fill. So it gives you one already. You can use one of the default ones, or like I just did, save a file to your computer, and then green textured backgrounds. There you go. Look at that. But obviously we have a problem here with the picture I just inserted. This is very hard to see. So we could have one of two options. We could maybe change these items to like black or like a darker color, or since I really like the green blue combo, I'm going to make this transparent. And if you've made PowerPoints in my class before, which almost everyone has, um, then you know a little bit about this. We explained it with one of the other ones, and I think it's probably about 50%. I'm going to assume so. I think 50%, somewhere between 40 and 60% is good. Every background might have to be different though. If it's like a hard image, like if it actually had a picture of a dinosaur on it and more details and more color in it, we'd probably have to increase it up to like 60 or 70. But if it's just a plain background, you're fine with 40 to 50%. But as long as I can read everything, I think you're fine. So um, with that, I think we're going to move on then. So, what I've done here to get the text like this and all over the place, like I said, we did the text first. So I figured out what I wanted to have on there. And for this assignment, I will allow you to copy and paste since I am giving you the resources anyway. I'm giving you permission to use that and copy it. I just want to see what you can do with it and see how you can make it look good and make it look appealing to people. Um, so the way I did this one, I just inserted a text box then. And so you go up to insert, text box, and just for now, I just drew one. Didn't care about the size, didn't care about the font or anything. And then let's pretend this copy and paste is from the website, but you copy it from the website, and then you can either right click or Control V on your keyboard. Okay. So since I copied it from this PowerPoint, it took the font because the font is different on my PowerPoint than it was on the website. The website used its own default font, but I changed it from Calibri, which I think is the default PowerPoint font, to Aris Bold ITC. The reason I chose this one, I didn't spend all day looking for it, but just based on the preview, it was a little bit bolder, a little bit easier to read. And it wasn't too fancy. It wasn't like any crazy cursive, but it did just give a little bit more personality to the text as far as I would say. But so we'll just keep doing this. You can copy and paste the original text box if you want. You can just do that 4 times to start out with, or you can insert each one as need be. So just for sake of time, I'm basically just going to copy and paste directly from this, but you can adjust uh, the text boxes as much as you need to. See, this one is already a different shape, and you can push and pull the text boxes as much as you need to. And again, there's that red line showing us where the middle is. So let's say I don't want it to go past the middle. I'm just going to line it up with the red to start out with. All right. And then, oh, we need one more still. Copy. And I think you can even do it without putting in a new text box if you have text, but it would keep whatever form of text it is. So yep, there you go. It makes its own text box, so you don't even need to do that. We have all that there. And then I had 4 points. You only need to have 3. So I'm just going to copy that. And again, I'm just kind of putting it somewhere right now just to get it on my sheet so I don't have to flip back and forth between the other page or anything like that. So we can have it all in the same spot. And so before I get down to the bottom part, these images I just found off the website itself, and you guys are probably going to have to Google search your own images, so make sure that they're relevant to poaching. Otherwise, I think on the sheet that I have now prepared, I put 4 bonus websites at the bottom I think you should be able to pull pictures from, but I think Google search and then Google images would be another good alternative might be even easier, to be honest. So this was something I got from the Dino Protection Group website. So I like this one not only just because it has a picture of a dinosaur. So if you didn't know what I meant up here, you probably recognize the image of a T-Rex. But I like the phrase that it had a roar or a cry for help. And so that's kind of like pulling at your heartstrings at the reader a little bit. Maybe not a ton, but just kind of one of those uh, cliche things when it's like we know we want to convince someone of something. How can we do it? Well, we make the animal sound more human because obviously it doesn't cry for help. But if we compare the roar to a cry for help, I mean, you don't need to get as much into it as I did for mine, but just putting a picture of maybe an animal that could be poached or maybe an animal that has been poached, as long as it's not too graphic, I would say would be the only stipulation on that. So this one I just copy and pasted from Google, and I'm just going to do the same thing here. Um, so again, it would come into a different size, and you might need to adjust the photo how you want. Like maybe I wanted to go above and beyond and do 4 photos. Four would be kind of tough, but maybe if they didn't have the details of this one, if they were just kind of general signs like these ones were, you could put a bunch in one spot. But it's whatever you want it to be. I want to see how creative you guys get. So it's completely up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and put that back, I think, about the way it was. And then I'm going to move on here to the bottom. Actually, I'm going to clip this picture too. Copy, paste. So as you can see, though, we're running out of room already. Well, that's because, we didn't format this one the same way yet. So it looks like we're going to need to put this one up here a little bit more, save some space. We don't need all that space up there, right? So text box probably doesn't need to be that big either. Maybe we can make it like this, or I think the one on the other one is size 15 font. You might need to mess around with that a little bit. I would say as long as I can read it, then you're fine. I would say probably don't go smaller than size 12, the default size. So anything below 12 would be tough to see. This one right here is size 15 as well, I think. So just for reference, but then look at that. Because I made that one smaller, I'm able to now make more space and bring this one up here. Same thing. And try to keep a little bit of space in between your points so it doesn't look like just one giant thing. But yeah, in about 5 minutes, I think we've basically done almost all of this. And this one took me a decent amount of time by myself. So um, yeah, just following these steps will help you get through this a lot quicker. So just for the sake of, I don't need to keep you guys here all day. This one is also word art. Word art. I did the same thing as I did up here. I just used this font and then curved it. Um, uh, this one, again, I just inserted a text box and typed it down there. I pressed the center button and then I changed the color of the font. I would suggest word art for the headings and the title, and then just regular font, and then choose a different style other than Calibri or Times New Roman. That's boring. So maybe change the color if it fits your background as well. But again, make sure I can still read it, because maybe my favorite color is yellow or green, but look how well green shows up on there. It doesn't. So make sure you go for like visibility over maybe your favorite color or anything. Um, so I included a picture of the march here and a picture of, again, something I think that people would be like, oh my gosh, that dinosaur is so cute. Same thing with this one. Oh my gosh, the dinosaur is so cute. I would want to save it. I like cute things. And so the pictures help get my point across. But otherwise, I'm trying to think of anything else at the last minute that we would need to know. Again, just shaping, like this drag button is going to be one of your best friends, and then just honestly copying and pasting and pulling and moving things around is going to help you a lot. So I'm going to undo those in case I actually did anything. But yeah, just again, you don't need to go crazy on this. You don't need to spend your entire life on this, but I think you would all agree that there is certainly a difference between this and then this one. Like this is like, honestly, I don't even know if this would pass in my class. This is an A without, oh, not that one. That was not done. But the other one, the one that is done, is an A without doubt. If you come even close to this, it's an A. I mean, as long as you meet the requirements of the rubric, and I can tell again that you put effort into making something like this, even if it doesn't match up as mine, as long as you try to do that, you're good to go. I know you guys have a lot of time, or have a lot of stuff to do for like math, especially. I've heard it's kind of hard on our own online and stuff. And I think same thing with maybe science and ELA a little bit. I mean, either way, I know this is not everyone's strong suit, but this is something I wanted us to try instead of just, um, doing questions and answers the entire time. So, um, if you're in my class, please email me or please let me know. We can sign up for live sessions or office hours or anything if you want to work on this. We can even have like a Zoom party if everyone wants to work on this together and like get ideas around. So whatever you want to do, I want to help you as much as I can because again, I would rather have us try on this one than just look at maps all day and stuff like that. So um, yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. You can feel free to explore any other shapes, tools, stuff in the anything in PowerPoint. You don't really need to use anything outside of PowerPoint other than pictures. So um, I really hope that you guys have fun with this. I really hope you guys enjoy it. And again, yeah, let me know how it goes. And good luck to you all. And I will see you later.